a Sukhasana, easy seat. So facing the front of your mat, I'm going to be facing you guys just to make it easier. If you have super tight hips, grab a block, sit on the very edge of a block. You can also sit on a towel or a blanket rolled up. And that's going to allow your hips to rise and then settling into the joints. I think I swallowed a bug. So go ahead and sit up super tall. Ground through your sit bones here. Soften the eyes and just relax the shoulders. Allow your hands to rest on your knees, either facing down if you need some grounding this Monday morning. If you're feeling pretty solid, you can let the palms rise up to the sky to receive. So just taking what you need here. Just let the shoulders release down the back. Notice if you're leaning forward, just let the head be above the heart, heart over the hips, grounding through the sits bones. Let's take a first breath together by inhaling through the nose and open the mouth and sigh it out. Just let it go. So just take a couple breaths here in our Sukhasana seat. We're going to ground through the body, allowing your mind to just drop into the body here. So our monkey mind likes to have a lot of thoughts. It likes to race. So let's just breathe here, letting our mind drop into our body. And so with the full moon coming on Thursday, the full moon gets me super excited. It's just a very recharging time, very re-energizing time. So I thought today would be the perfect time to do a nice hip opening sequence. If you have super tight hips, take it easy today. Everyone take it easy today, morning practice. But we'll just get into the hips. So Young Pueblo, I opened up his inspiration for the day and it actually said, letting go is not erasing a memory or ignoring the past. Letting go is no longer reacting to things that used to make you feel tense. It's releasing the energy attached to certain thoughts. So as you open up your hips today, allowing yourself to release that energy. So from here again, sit up super tall if you've lost your posture, keeping your eyes soft. Go ahead and walk your fingertips forward. So keeping your sits bones grounded here, hinging at the hips, just walking the fingertips all the way forward, lengthening through the spine and the side body, and allowing your hips to settle. Surrender here. Let your hips be soft. Let your head release. You're welcome to release the head onto a block as well. And let's take 5 breaths here. So deep inhales and exhales through the nose. Softening deeper into the hips. Surrendering deeper into this pose. On your next inhale, walk the hands over towards the right side. As far as you can reach, pressing that left sit bone into the earth and just reaching through the side body. Maybe you can stack the left hand on top of the right. Eyes are soft. Hips are surrendering here. Deep breaths, releasing, letting go. On your next inhale, walk the hands all the way back through center, over to the left side, grounding especially through that right hip. Maybe stacking that right hand on top of the left, reaching through the right side body. Softening deeper into that right hip, grounding through the sits bones. Inhale, walk back through center. Take one more breath, surrender a little bit deeper, reach a little bit further. And on your inhale, walk the hands back through center. And then let's release the legs. We'll come to our tabletop pose. So hands and knees, adjusting here where you need to. Just letting the shoulders be above the wrists and the elbows, spread the fingers wide. And go ahead and reach through your right leg, bringing the ball of the foot onto the mat, and just start to press out through the heel, pressing back and forth here. So just waking up the calf muscles, the toes, spread the toes wide. And then from here, really grounding through your fingers, pressing into all the knuckles, pressing through the back of your heart. Lift that right leg up and sweep it all the way over to the left side, landing on the ball of that foot. Take your right hip and press it out to the right as you gaze over that left shoulder. You'll feel a really intense stretch through the right hip, through the side body. Lots going on here. Can you press away from the earth with your fingers, pressing through the back of the heart here, not dumping into your shoulders? Take one more deep inhale here. And exhale, sweep it back. Let's take one cat-cow, drop the belly, inhale, lift the tailbone, gaze to the sky. And press away from the earth, round through the spine, tuck the chin to the chest. And release back to your neutral tabletop. On your next inhale, bring the left leg behind you, landing on the ball of that foot, and just start to pump out through the heel of the foot. Waking up the calf, waking up the left foot, the toes. Just breathing here, press away from the earth, lift through the heart. And then on your next inhale, lift that left foot up, sweep it over to the right side, landing on the ball of the foot. Take that left hip, press it out a little bit, gaze over that right shoulder, make sure you're pressing away from the earth. Feel the stretch in that left side body, particularly in the left hip. Breathe here. Pretty intense stretch. And then sweep it back to your tabletop pose. Walk your hands forward just a little bit. Let the pointer fingers face forward, eyes of the elbows open. And let's tuck our toes and very slowly lift to our first down dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Chest and belly is welcome to be on the thighs as you lengthen through the spine here. Press away from the earth into your knuckles. Lift the hips a little higher. And when you're ready, send the hips all the way up, grounding through the heels. Let's take 5 breaths here. So taking what you need in this down dog. If it feels good to bend into one knee at a time, pedaling and grounding through the heel, take that. If it feels good to kind of wiggle your hips side to side, take that. So waking up the body here. Just taking your organic movements. What does your body need? Let's pull our shoulder blades wide and down the back. So from here, on your inhale, sweep that right leg up behind you. Let's bend into the knee, bringing the heel to the booty. Let's take the knee to the sky, opening up the hip, and then trying to square the shoulders back to the mat. You'll notice one side will be different than the other. So for instance, my right hip is a little bit tighter. I can't really reach that right knee to the sky. I'm doing the best I can, and my shoulders are squared. One more breath here. Try to press through and ground through that left heel. Inhale that right leg high, and then bring it back down to the earth. Try to ground the heels here. On your next inhale, sweep that left leg up behind you, 3-legged dog. Bend into the knee, press it open. Try to bring that knee to the sky. Press away from the earth with your hands. Square back through the shoulders. So we're opening up our hips today, you guys. We're releasing energy to prepare for the full moon. Inhale that left leg high and then release it back down. Take one breath here. On your next inhale, send that right leg up behind you. And then let's sweep that right knee all the way through. And we'll land the foot between the thumbs. Bring that left knee down. We'll come into a low lunge here. So make sure that right knee is directly over that right ankle. Pull that right hip back. And on your inhale, just come up. Place the hands on the knees, on your right knee. Maybe let that left knee release farther back on the mat. And just sink into that left hip flexor. So we're opening up in this left hip flexor here. So just breathing here, 3 breaths. Your practice, you're at home, so if you feel like sweeping the arms up overhead, you can. I'm going to keep mine on my knee. First practice of the morning. I just want to get into this hip flexor and really open it up. One more inhale here, lengthen through the crown of the head. And then let's release our hands on the inside of that right foot. Heel toe the foot to the width of the mat, but let your toes be off the mat, let your heel be in. So it's at a little bit of a diagonal here. Here's where you can take a block if you have one. If you don't, no worries. Plant the left hand on the block. Sink that left hip flexor a little bit deeper. From here, bend into that left knee. Sweep the right arm behind, trying to make a connection to that foot to get a quad stretch here. If you can't make that connection, it just looks like this. Wherever you can reach, you're still getting a stretch in the quad. And then can you peel your heart open? Feel that stretch in the left quad, opening through that left hip flexor. One more breath here. And then very gently release. Try not to slingshot that foot down. And then from here, we'll come into lizard pose. So keeping that right heel in, toes out. I like to sometimes come up to my toes and then send my knee back a little deeper. That's going to really take a deep stretch here. In your lizard pose, you can peel your heart open and stay right here. Some people like to come down onto a block, prayer hands. You choose. 3 breaths here. Close the eyes. See if you can surrender a little bit deeper here. Nice deep breaths. Hips are intense. That's where the energy is stored. So we've got a lot to release. From here, come back up to your hands. Tuck those left toes under. Lift the knee. Move that left hand a little closer to the right. Press into that front foot. Sweep that left foot forward. Toes out. Heels in. Drop the tailbone down. We're in Malasana Yogi Squat. Again, taking a block underneath the tailbone is perfect. So try to reach through the crown of the head as you soften the tailbone down. Close the eyes, take 2 breaths here. From here, plant the hands in front of you as you straighten the legs. Heel toe the feet in, hips distant, forward fold. On your inhale, bring your hands to the shins. Peel the heart open up the shoulders. Ardha Uttanasana, half lift. And exhale, release it, forward fold. Plant the hands down, take it back to your down dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. And just take a minute to feel that intense opening in the hips. Notice what your body's feeling and just surrender to it. On your inhale, that left leg sweeps up behind you. Exhale, sweep it through. Right knee drops, low lunge. Pull that left hip back, and on your inhale, come on up. Let the hands rest on the top of the left thigh. Pull that left hip back. Maybe squiggle that right knee back a little. You want to get that deep stretch in the right hip flexor. Tailbone is trying to surrender down, lifting through the crown of the head. Breathe here. Feel that intense stretch and just notice how one side's different than the other. No judgment, but just notice which hip is tighter. Go ahead and plant the hands on the inside of that left foot, heel toe, so the toes are off the mat, heel is still on. Bend into that right knee. Again, this is where you can take a block if you'd like it. You don't have to. Sweep that left hand behind, trying to find that foot. Again, if you can't make contact, just reach back. You'll still feel the stretch in the quad. And then can you peel your heart open to the sky? Really pull that left shoulder back. A lot going on here, so breathe. One more breath here. Gently release that leg. And then we'll come into our lizard pose here. Again, you can tuck those right toes, maybe lengthen that right knee a little farther behind. You can stay here and reach through the heart, open up the heart. You can come down on forearms or a block. You can even come up to your fingertips. Wherever you are, you're gonna feel that intense stretch in that right hip flexor. Take a couple more breaths here. While opening the hips, it is all about your breath. I invite you to close your eyes often through the practice and just breathe. One more breath here. Go ahead and tuck those back toes under. As you press into that front foot, you'll sweep that back foot forward, drop it down, close the eyes, Malasana. So as the crown of the head lifts, puff the chest forward, soften the tailbone. Yogi squat. Good, you guys, this is super intense, but for the first Monday of May, full moon on Thursday, this is a beautiful release of energy, and you might feel a lot of emotions with that since our energy is stored in our hips, so just embrace it, let it kind of come and go. All right, plant the hands, press yourself up, heel toe the feet, back in line with the hips, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, Ardha Uttanasana, spread the shoulders wide and down the back, long spine. Exhale, release it down. From here, just walk the hands over to the right side, stretching through that left side body. Micro bend in the knees is beautiful. And then walk your hands back through center, over to the left side. Feel that stretch. Breathe here. Feel it through the side body. Go ahead and walk your hands back through center. Forward fold. Inhale to half lift. Ardha Uttanasana. Press the thighs and tailbone to the back of your mat. And exhale, release it down. Inhale, half lift. Ardha Uttanasana. Spread wide. Open your heart. And exhale, fold it in. From here, let's plant the hands and we'll step it back to our down dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Take a minute here just to notice what's softening, what's opening, what's releasing. On your next inhale, sweep that right leg up behind you. Exhale, bend the knee, bringing that leg all the way through. We'll come into a runner's lunge. So you're on the ball of that back foot. Right knee is directly over that right ankle. Pull that right hip back. Press the chest open. So open your heart here. So from here, I like to take my back toes in just a couple inches. As we lengthen through that right leg, straighten that right leg, we'll come into a wide pyramid pose. So you're hinging at the hips, folding over that long right leg. Inhale, press it forward, back to runner's lunge, pull the heart through. And exhale, press it back to a wide pyramid here. Inhale, pull the heart through, keep that right hip back. And exhale, straighten, melt the heart over that right leg. One more time, inhale, pull the heart through. And exhale, melt the heart. Stay here for 3 breaths. Your hands can be on blocks as well if that's helpful. Hinging at the hip, lengthening through the spine, breathing here. Keep that right hip pulled back, squaring the hips to the front of the mat. And then from here, you're gonna walk the hands forward so the thumbs are about where your toes begin. We'll drop that right knee behind the right wrist, coming into pigeon pose. Lengthen that left leg long behind you. Go ahead and peek behind you. Make sure that left leg is long, coming out directly from the hip. From here, press onto your fingertips, puff the chest open, soften the shoulders back. See if you can drop a little deeper. If you need support under that right hip, go ahead and take a blanket or a towel under it so it can release. One more inhale, puff the chest. And on the exhale, release forward to your degree. Remember I said this is your first practice of the morning probably. So be kind to your body, be kind to your hips. Just a reminder, letting go is no longer reacting to things that used to make you feel tense. It's releasing the energy attached to certain thoughts. So pigeon pose is definitely a super intense hip pose. And so your mind can race during this pose. So your job here is just to follow the breath. Deep breaths in and out of your nose. Notice where you can release some more tension here, maybe into the jaw, maybe into the forehead. Soften here, just a couple more breaths. You guys got this. You're doing great. Hips are intense. Don't worry about what it looks like. You'll feel amazing. On your next inhale, just press yourself up. And then I learned this pose from one of the fabulous teachers I follow. It doesn't have a name, so it's the no name pose. So follow me here. It's wonky, but it's super cool. You're going to press yourself up a little bit. Tuck those left toes under. Lift that knee. Take that right foot to the outside of your mat. And then plant the foot down, and you're on the tippy toes of your left foot. Press it back like a down dog. Take it so you can feel an intense stretch in that right hip or that right leg. One more breath here. And then release that right leg back to your down dog. Grounding here, taking any movements you need here to release anything that you need. Can you inhale here through the fingertips, sending that inhale up to the hips, and then exhale from the hip sockets all the way out the heels. On your next inhale, sweep that left leg up behind you. Bend into the knee, sweeping it all the way forward. We'll come into a runner's lunge on that left side. So on your inhale, really sweep that heart forward. You're on the ball of the back foot, left knee directly over that left ankle. Take the back toes, move them in just maybe an inch or so. And then lengthen through that left leg, coming into that wide pyramid. Again, hands can be on blocks. Can you drop that, drop that right hip down, squaring the hips, lengthening through the spine. Bend back into that right knee, peel the heart open, runner's lunge. And exhale, melt the heart over that left leg, hips squared. Inhale, peel the heart open. Exhale, press it back. Last time, inhale, peel the heart open. And exhale, heart melts over this long leg. Pause here for 2 breaths. Breathing here. Go ahead and plant the hands down. You can heel toe that foot, bringing that left knee right behind that left wrist. Extend that right leg long. Gaze behind you, making sure it's extended right out from that right hip. On your inhale, puff the chest open. And so again, you'll notice the hip is different on one side versus the other. So if you need to plant something under this left hip so you can relax a little deeper, do so. You want your hips neutral. You don't want to be falling to one side or the other. One more inhale and puff open. And exhale, release. surrender to your degree here. Close the eyes and you will notice that the more that you breathe and surrender here, the softer the pose will get, the nicer it'll feel. So just enjoy here for a moment. Let's take 8 more breaths here, just releasing tension. Being right here in the present moment, just breathe. If that monkey mind starts to race off, again, this is such an intense pose. Bring it back to your breath. Think of that beautiful full moon we're going to get on Thursday. Keep breathing here. Couple more breaths. On your next inhale, press yourself up and we'll go to that no name pose. So tuck those back toes under. You'll press yourself up, stay on the tips of those back toes, send that left foot over to the side on the outside of your mat flat. And just feel that stretch in the left side of the hip, the leg. And then go ahead and release it back to your down dog. Take a deep inhale, feel the inhale coming from the fingertips all the way up to the hip sockets, and then exhale from the hip sockets all the way out the heels. Go ahead and gaze forward and either walk or hop your feet forward to meet your hands. We'll land in forward fold. Let's inhale to half lift, Ardha Uttanasana, and exhale, release it down. Inhale, half lift, Ardha Uttanasana. And exhale, release it down. Breathe here. From here, just bend into the knees, drop the tailbone down, sweep the arms parallel to the floor. Just coming into a chair pose, an Ardha Utkatasana. So kind of a half chair pose. Breathing here. Extend the arms forward, drop the booty down. One more breath here. Pull the shoulder blades down the back. And then from here, we'll just lower down between our feet, down to our booties, getting there however is best for you. All right. So we're going to come into a wide-legged Navasana or boat pose. So grounding through the tailbone here. Take your peace fingers, piece them around the big toes here. Bend into the knees. Lengthen through the tailbone here. So your tailbone is grounded, spine is long, crown of the head is lifted, maybe at a little bit of a diagonal. And this is a little bit of a balancing pose. So from here, find a way to slowly open up the legs. Now, they could be here, that's fine. Lengthen through the spine. Maybe you try to lengthen into one. Maybe you try to lengthen into the other. Maybe you're right here and you're just trying to pull the fingers into the toes as you push the toes into the fingers. Lengthen through the spine, soften the shoulders. Just play, balance and play for just a moment. One more breath. And then close it on up. And let's recline all the way down on our mat. You guys made it. You arrived. You got through the intense hip openers here. So from here, bend into the knees. Feet are grounded. Take the right leg, cross it on top of that left thigh, flexing into that right foot so your ankle is just above the knee. So we're coming into a figure 4. You can take that right hand to the thigh and press it out. Or if you'd like to take it deeper, interlace the hands behind that left thigh. Keep the tailbone grounded. Keep both feet flexed. Keep pressing out through that right thigh, right hip. Soften the shoulders. Breathe here. Take a couple more breaths here. And then from here, plant that left foot back down, take the arms out to a T, and you'll allow that right foot to come all the way over to the left side, nice and flat, coming into your twist. Take the head right if that's okay for your neck. Take that left hand and press that right thigh away from you. Full shoulders soft on the mat. And take some nice deep breaths here. Allowing the twist to cleanse. Release any of the energy stuck in our spine as well. Notice where that monkey mind is at. Take the gaze between the third eye. And just breathe into this beautiful twist. Take 2 more breaths here. Take a deep inhale here. And exhale, unwind, bring the knees into the chest. And just rock side to side off an asana. Massaging into the spine, releasing anything left. And from here, let the soles of the feet rest back on the mat, knees are bent. Take the left leg, crossing the ankle right above the knee, coming into your figure 4. This might be intense enough. If so, press that left thigh out with your hand. Or go ahead and lift the right leg off, the right foot off. Take the bind behind that right thigh. Press that left thigh out. Both feet are flexed. Maybe those right toes come just above the right knee. Soften the shoulders, soften your neck. And this should feel amazing after all the hip openers we did. This should just feel really good. But maybe you weren't able to release everything in all that asana we did, so maybe this is just releasing a little bit more for you, and that's perfect. From here, extend the arms out to a T, plant that right foot back on the mat, and allow the knees to fall over to the right side, planting that left foot flat on the mat. Take the head left if it feels okay, and take that right hand, press that left thigh away from you. Stretching back into that left hip flexor one more time. See if you can surrender into the shoulders here, just allowing them to be heavy. Notice where you're grasping, where you're gripping. Just soften here, you guys. Let it go. Let's start this week by releasing all this pent-up energy, setting ourselves up for the full moon. For a new cycle, fresh, released, relaxed. Couple more breaths here. Take a deep inhale through the nose. And gently unwind on the exhale. Pull the knees into the heart. Rock side to side. Keeping the tailbone grounded into the earth, shoulders grounded as well. Go ahead and bring the soles of the feet to the sky. Taking your version of happy baby, Ananda Balasana. Peace fingers around the big toes. Taking the outside of the feet, taking the back of the thighs, Tailbone is grounded, shoulders heavy. And just find either stillness or a little rock, whatever feels beautiful for your practice. Eyes are closed, calming the mind here. And then from here, pull everything back in towards center and allow the soles of the feet to come together. Let the knees splay open. You can take blocks underneath the knees if the hips don't feel good doing this. And just take your hands to the tops of your hips, to the bones of your hips. Soften everything here. We're in Supta Baddha Konasana. Close the eyes. Take the gaze to that third eye space. And let's all take a deep inhale through the nose. Sigh it out the mouth. One more like that. Inhale through the nose. And sigh it out the mouth. Just take 8 more breaths here. Deepening inhales and exhales through the nose. Just softening, letting yourself go deep here. So after flowing for about 25 minutes of intense hip openers, notice what you're feeling right now. Are you having any surge of emotions? Do your hips just feel beautiful? Maybe they're super achy. But just really take a nice deep scan into the hands that are on your hips. I know for me, I have really achy hips. That's just part of my rheumatoid, just part of my issues and my tissues. And so I have to be honest, after that flow, my hips feel absolutely incredible. Really open. This is a really stressful time, a lot going on in my life. And I definitely know I store a lot of stuff in my hips. So that flow, just moving for 25 beautiful, intense minutes. I can't tell you how incredible my hips feel. So I'm hoping that you all feel the same way. If not, no worries. Maybe your hips are super tight. I don't have tight hips. I have achy hips. So just scan the body for 2 more breaths here. See where you can release a little bit deeper. And allowing yourself this time, when you're ready, if you want to stay here, or just extend one leg long and the other leg long. Send the pelvic bone up and forward, releasing your lumbar spine down. Ground through the heel here. Let the arms just come out wide, palms up. Lift your heart, shimmy your shoulders down. Don't chintz yourself of this time. Shavasana is one of the most difficult poses in yoga. Allowing your mind to be quiet, allowing stillness is very challenging. Let the pillows of your calves rest comfortably. Release anything that's left, that's stuck in your body. To settle here. Let your hips surrender to stillness and softness, and enjoy a couple moments of organic breath in Shavasana. Feel free to stay here as long as you'd like. You're at home, your practice, enjoy. If you're ready, you could begin to find some gentle movement in the body, wiggling the fingers and toes, sweeping the thumbs across the fingers, just giving them thanks for all the hard work. Bend into the knees. Plant the feet and just let your knees windshield wiper side to side, just in case you have anything left stored in those hips that you need to release. And when the knees find themselves over to the right side, go ahead and allow yourself to fall over to a fetal position, using your arm as a pillow. Just taking a moment here of gratitude. So proud of each and every one of you for finding your way to your mat, starting your beautiful first Monday of May, starting the week with this incredible hip opener. Go ahead and press yourself up to a comfortable seated Sukhasana seat. Go ahead and cross the legs the opposite direction. So however you started, do the opposite. Sit up super tall. If you're still in Shavasana, just relax and breathe. Just let your palms rest on your knees, up to receive here. You're ready to receive. And just sit up super tall. Eyes are soft. Bow the chin to the chest here. Go ahead and bring the thumb to the pointer finger for your Gyan Mudra. Connect the other 3 fingers together. And I will read you the amazing young Pueblo one more time. I opened it up this morning, and this is what he said. Letting go is not erasing a memory or ignoring the past. Letting go is no longer reacting to things that used to make you feel tense. It is releasing the energy attached to certain thoughts. I hope you used that beautiful practice to just release everything that's stored in your hips. I hope you feel incredible today. Take the hands to heart center, connecting your thumbs to your heart, bow the chin to the chest. I thank each and every one of you for allowing me to guide you today through this incredible hip opening journey. I thank you for joining me. I love feeling connected to each and every one of you. I love that you are connected to everyone that is practicing with you. May you take this sense of released energy with you throughout your day. Continue to find gratitude in this difficult time. Have a beautiful day, yogis. Namaste.